coming out of eastern Oregon, damn near Idaho. You're listening to the Double Talkin' with Dog Bite Hair Show.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to the Double Talkin' with Dog Bite Show. My name is Dog Bite Harris, obviously. This week's guest is Jared McGovern from Urban Pionners. Always a good time talking to Jared. We talk about a number of things. We talk about duck hunting, talk about the Urban Pioneers, we talk about the pandemic, we talk about being dads, and we talk about doing drugs. And anyways, we are going to start the show off with a song by Urban Pionners. This song is called, hold on, wait for it. Song is called No Blood in the Stone, followed by the interview. But first, a word from our sponsor, $2 Elvis.
Howdy, my name is $2 Elvis. I'm the owner-operator of King of the Road VIP Chauffeur Service. That's the tour guide service where you take a tour of Nashville with me, the King.
Well, look out now, I'm cruising around town. You wanna see the city, I'll take you around. Hop on in my baby blue sedan, but don't get jealous of my hundreds of fans. I'll show you the sights and all the bright lights. You say, Elvis, take the wheel. Elvis, take the wheel. Elvis, $2 Elvis, take the wheel.
All you gotta do, baby, is go to www.2elvis.com. Select your date, put down that deposit, and you got a date with me, the King.
Elvis, $2 Elvis, take the wheel.
In the snow. Put another weight on my back. Yeah, it seems my name is Peter, and your name must be Paul. Cause they write me blind to kick your pockets blind.
Alrighty, folks. With me on the phone, I got Jared McGovern from Urban Pioneers. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Dog Bite? Good to see you, man. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me back.
No problem.
I'm gonna try to act like this is a podcast this time. It's because I feel like every time we talk before, I'm like, it's just us like BSing on the phone, you know.
Yeah.
And I go back and listen. I'm like, that's not even a podcast. Somebody's just listening in on our phone call. So, hello, all you listeners out there.
That's actually how I like to run my podcast. I think I was telling you, I've had some that were real rough because they are more like a Q&A. I like running them more like somebody's just listening to a phone conversation personally, man. I think it's more interesting content that way, and it's more natural, man. I don't do well with the whole like, okay, so Jared, kind of stuff.
I don't know.
So
whatever you want, man.
The first thing I want to ask is what happened to your tooth, man?
It's gold now.
That's new.
Yeah. When did that happen? It happened a little while back. So I have a condition where I lose consciousness sometimes.
Shit.
Yeah, and it's a pretty common thing, I guess. I have low blood pressure. I guess I'm that chill. And sometimes I lose consciousness. And this is like the 5th time that it's happened. Luckily, it's never happened any crazy time. Like I could feel it coming on a lot of times, but this time is the first time that any damage happened because I landed with my face on the concrete floor, and it was pretty gnarly. But I had just gotten my VA dental insurance sorted out, so
got your gold tooth, huh?
Yeah. It's just like the half of it that was broke off.
Huh?
I like it. It's silly. It's shiny. Ducks see shiny stuff, and I wonder if it's the last thing a duck sees before I blast.
Yeah, you said you've been doing a lot of duck hunting. You told me, well, I haven't been really doing much music, but we can talk about ducks for hours.
Yes. Yeah, we haven't. We haven't really been playing much music for various reasons. Like we have a 1.5-year-old daughter now, Maybelle. And we've been just trying to be as safe as we could with her. And then there were some people around us that did get really, really sick. And so we're just trying to be precautious, watching the numbers, just trying to play it smart. And then like other things, like we got asked to go to Europe. And at first when they asked us, we were like, hell yeah, I want to go to Europe. Let's do this. And then the way the logistics worked out, it ended up we would have to be there for a week, which would seem awesome, but to try to go to Europe with a 1.5-year-old for a week, I don't know, like flying over there and stuff like that, I just feel like we might be rushing it a little bit,
That's
and I
tough.
think, is that understandable, do you think?
Yeah, man, I could see that, dude. Like your best bet is maybe to wait till she's a bit older so you can just drop her off at grandma's for a week without her freaking out,
Yeah, like a huge part of us wants to just get back, like now that restrictions are coming down and things are getting a little more lax, and like shows are going on. I'm seeing all of our friends booking tours and stuff. Of course, like I want to play shows. I would love to be on stage again and be on tour. We had a tour planned with Rachel Brooke that we were putting together, a little run through Texas, and it just, for various reasons, that didn't work out because COVID restrictions and stuff. Like a lot of that wasn't even us just pulling out of it. It was just like it's like impossible to book the tour because nobody was booking at the time, So
which is weird in Texas. I figured they'd be all balls to the wall, ready to fucking do just about anything there.
I thought so too. I kind of thought it would all. I don't know, but I haven't been trying. Like we have a booking agent now, and he was trying, and I'm really glad to not do that. Like as we come back from COVID, I'm trying to like pick and choose. Like what do I want to do? Instead of like, what do we have to do? You know what I mean? So like we have a booker, and he's awesome and he's great. He takes really good care of us, and he handles all that. So, it's been tough, but for a lot of bands to book a lot of stuff, and I've been hearing it's tough for bands being on the road, and then there's so much invested into it, and then boom, somebody gets COVID and the tour canceled. I've seen that happen to a number of bands. Like,
that seems to be the biggest thing that's happening, especially with this new variant, is like way more contagious, and it seems to like not matter if you're vaccinated or not, you still get it, and you get it hard, so like I got it actually, and I got it the day I got my booster shot, so I thought I was having side effects.
Damn.
And then like 3 days go by, and I'm like, I'm fucking better take a test. And sure as shit, I was positive. But man, let me tell you, if it's worse without the fucking vaccine, I don't want to know what the fuck it's like, man. Because I mean, I've been sicker in my time. It was definitely weird, and it hung on for fucking ever. We're talking like, and there's like parts to it, at least for me. I think everybody seems to be different, you know. And but for me, I got the fever. I got that, and the fever was crazy. And I'm kind of weird. I kind of like getting fevers as long as I'm not like nauseous. Like,
trippy.
yeah, because I like going into the spirit world a bit, you know, like having the weird dreams and sweating and shit. You know, I almost feel like I'm cleansed when I get done, you know?
Yeah.
So that didn't bug me all that much. And I thought that's when I thought I was having a side effect to the shot. So I was like, whatever. So I slept and did that for about 20 hours. And I got up and I felt fine, except just, you know, your typical fatigue from being having
Sick.
a fever.
Yeah,
you know?
being out from being sick. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other shit started coming on. And that's when I started to raise my eyebrow. Like I was like fucking getting congested and coughing. And I think 2 factors got me through it quick. One, I got a good doctor who actually was like, here's some fucking antibiotics to keep your lungs from getting infected, some fucking Mucinex with codeine, and a fucking albuterol inhaler. Like, don't even come in. Like, I'm just gonna send them to the fucking pharmacy. So, and then just the fact that I'd already been vaccinated, you know, if I would have got boosted a little bit earlier, I think I probably would have been better, because they say it takes like 8 days for the vaccine to get in you and to work right. So I'd had it when I got the booster probably, and if I would have got it just probably like a fucking week earlier, I probably would have been a lot less sick, you know.
Yeah.
So
we lucked out. We were definitely in contact with somebody close to us that got it, and they got it really bad. And I don't want to talk too much about COVID, but COVID is for real. And I saw what it did to him. And it wasn't even like sick. It wasn't even like his body was sick. It made him go crazy. It made him like lose his mind. We thought there were like, I don't know, it was like a psychotic episode from COVID. It was absolutely insane. It was terrifying.
Yeah, dude, for me, it's weird. It fucking, just knowing I had it, like really affected me badly.
Yeah.
You know, like just knowing I had it affected me for whatever reason, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, we won't talk too much about it, because I've also told the story on like every fucking podcast for like the last.
We heard it, dog.
Yeah, like everybody that's listening is like, "Fuck, you're gonna tell Jared too." It's gonna take another half hour of the show.
Yeah,
okay. but yeah, then you're just fatigued for like ever, man. You think you're over it, and then you fucking be phlegmy again all of a sudden. You'd be just fucking wore out, dude. It wore me the fuck out.
Yeah,
there's a lot of it, you know.
Our family just got over the norovirus. You ever heard of that?
No,
I had never heard of a norovirus before until this past weekend. We went out for like the first time. Somebody invited us to town to a birthday party, and we were like, okay, we'll go to this birthday party and be social for once. We go, have a good time, great, whatever. 2 days later, I wake up and I just don't feel good. Straight up, it doesn't. And I had what a lot of people call a stomach bug or a stomach virus. Until this day, I didn't believe in stomach bugs or stomach virus. I thought that was something that people just called into work with. Like, I'm hungry, I have a stomach bug. Like, I didn't believe it was like, I've had the flu before and stuff. I've just never had a stomach bug. This was a stomach bug, and oh my God, I lost 8 pounds in the past like 4 days. It's crazy. Yeah, I wasn't able to eat or anything. I was depressed. I was weak, like you were saying. I was like, what's wrong with me? I thought it was food poisoning. Then Maybell got it, and then Liz got it. She got over it. She had it yesterday, and now my brother got it today. Everybody around us, we ran out of toilet paper. It's a mess.
Dude, that's when you have a family, dude. Trust me, I've been there, man.
Yep.
Everybody's fighting for the bathroom. The whole house smells like farts, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody, it sucks. Everybody, you know, and it's especially sucks when you got a kid that young, you know. Me and Claire got it when Paige was about 3. It just hit us, man. And Paige wasn't sick, that's the worst, man. Is when the kid's not sick, because then you gotta get up and fucking act like you're not fucking feeling like fucking dog shit, you know?
Yep. Kids raising hell while you're sick. Yeah, yeah, it's tough. She didn't get it too bad. She got it like less than we did. She threw up for a couple times for a few hours or something like that, and then was like, "Hey, let's play." So she's a champ. She's she's got it all right. But,
yeah.
Tired of being sick. Like, it feels good now that I'm over it. And we went through that other thing with our family member having COVID or whatever. So now it's like we've been exposed to a lot of things. We can like get out. We might even go on vacation or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is this might be good for the country? This big spike, you know, like. I don't like to say that, but and a lot of people probably will get pissed, but I really think that just like every other fucking pandemic ever, it takes some people getting it to get over it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, we shit the bed on fucking being safe, really. You know, that's the fact.
If we were shown that we can't ever count on anybody, we can only really count on ourselves.
Yep.
Sad. It's really sad. We can shoot ducks about it.
Yeah. So that's been your new thing, huh?
Yeah. You ever been duck hunting?
I haven't, man. You know, I've got a lot of friends that are really into it. They love it, man. But I don't really like hunting, to be honest, man. Like, it's not that I don't. I'm not like an anti-hunter. You know, I don't give a shit. Like, you know, if I had to hunt my own meat, I would. You know, like, but Brody, stop. I have a pit bull. He's like 100 pounds and he thinks he's a baby for some reason. He doesn't like it when he's not the center of attention sometimes. But it's just, you know, it's just one of those things. Like, I kind of feel like, and you know, I've been hunting though. You know, I feel like anybody who's going to eat meat should have to go hunting at some point in their life. I feel like so they understand like what goes into eating meat. You know, like essentially you're taking
meat does come from an animal. And
it comes from a living thing.
You know. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that. And even if they think they understand that, a lot of people still don't really understand.
No, they don't.
To processing an animal. And, you know, there's a lot to it. And it's almost like when you do it, a lot of people don't want to hear, like, if they're against it, they don't want to hear it. But like an animal, like, kind of comes apart like it's supposed to do that. You know, like whenever everything comes apart and you butcher stuff and everything, it's like there are parts that, like, I don't know. There's a reason why things are the way they are. You know, I think deer are made to come apart.
Yeah, man. But yeah, but it is definitely humbling to watch a fucking living thing die in front of you, though. Like, I think that's what I'm getting at. It's like it makes you respect life a bit more when you actually do hunt, you know?
Yeah.
But what I don't like is there's some people that seem to do that and then not get it. They get like a real weird joy out of it, like a different kind of joy, you know? Like that's when you're like, that fucker, if there was no accountability for going to prison for murdering people, that fucking guy would fucking murder whoever the fuck.
No, exactly. I've hunted with that person and I will never hunt with that person ever again. It was weird. They killed an animal. They had no intention of eating it. And I was upset with myself for like letting this happen in front of me. I was mad. I was very, very upset. I don't know. So with me, for hunting for me, I didn't grow up hunting. My dad never took me hunting. The first time I'd ever hunted was 6 or 7 years ago when I moved to Texas. We live on my wife's father's property. And it's a large piece of land in Texas. We live about an hour. I'm in town right now, but it's about an hour to get from our house to a grocery store. So for us, hunting is really, it really has become a way of life. And I don't really enjoy hunting. It was almost kind of like a chore. Like, you got some tags to fill. There's some deer out in the field. Go turn them into ground meat, you know? And I didn't really I wasn't into like camo and like stalking them and stuff like that. For us, like seriously, at any given day during deer season, you could shoot however many deer you want in our backyard.
Yeah, it's the same way out here in Eastern Oregon. It's funny they sell because we're like right by the Blue Mountains, right?
Mhm.
And then you come down out of the Blue Mountains and you're on the Columbia Basin where it's like flat wheat fields and shit. And all the city hunters from Portland buy tags and they'll sell the tags of the mountains in there so they can go out there and feel like they're tough and like shit like that. So, but you come down here, that's where the deer are the best. Have been out here eating weed all fucking year long. They're all fat. They don't taste gamey and they're out in the fucking open by like, just like, and there's so many more down here. So like you just shoot them off the base and here, like you could hit one at any day of the week. You don't need to camouflage or wear deer piss or any of that shit, you know?
Yeah.
They're funny though. They're smart. They'll come into town during hunting season. They'll come right into fucking town. They're like, fuck you, man. We know what's going on up there. My cousin Fred died just yesterday. I'm down here for the fucking till snow hits.
Yeah. So yeah, man, like I do like deer hunting a lot, but then my cousin-in-law came out for a deer hunt at the beginning of duck season, and we have on the property. There's a lot of, they call them tanks in Texas. They're not ponds. They're water tanks. They're water holding. It is a pond. It's like a hole in the ground where water sits, but it's for cattle to drink out of, and they call them tanks, right? So I've taken around, like we're just checking stuff out, looking for deer, and we see all these ducks on the water, and he's really into it. And he turned me onto it, and we planned a duck hunt. And from the first time we went out and I shot a duck or whatever, I'm totally addicted, and it's totally on my brain 100% of the time. If I ever do go back to, if we do go back to touring any sort of time, full time in the near future or whatever, I'm bringing my shotgun on tour for sure. We're gonna. Yeah.
It nails a lot of people like that. Like anybody I know that's a duck hunter, I work with a guy that's a duck hunter, and it gets people, man. He's like, the world would be a better place if everybody just go duck hunting. That's what he says all the fucking time.
I really do believe that. There's so many, and people might be listening to this thinking like that's silly and that's stupid, but there's so many but like even with that, like it's not even duck season right now. Like it would be illegal for me to go shoot a duck right now, but almost every day I still go out there and just watch them. I bring my calls and I call at them. I'm getting a zoom lens for one of Liz's cameras because I want to be able to take pictures of them flying in and stuff. The ducks are beautiful animals. They make awesome, amazing sounds that you have to be there. Like that you can't record it. You can't take a photo really of it to replicate the feeling that you get when you have 100 mallards come and whistle around you, and you hear their wings whistling through the air, and they're flying, they're cupping in, and they're landing right in front of you. And then like whenever you're out there and they're like circling around you, you can almost like play with them like they're a kite, like as they're flying away, you blow your call at them a little bit, and then they come back, and then I don't know, you just like play with them for hours, and it's just crazy to play with this group of birds, this group of wild that have been everywhere from this, southern end of this continent to the northern end of this continent, and they go do that every year. It's crazy. It's
Are they good to eat? Because like I've actually never tried duck.
They're delicious. So like once I started getting into it, I didn't realize that there were a lot of different kinds of ducks that do different things and taste differently and should eat different ways. And like a widgeon, I love a widgeon. There's tons of them down here. They're beautiful. They make a really cool sound. And if you fry them, like I like to fry them, like I'll breast them. I'll take the breast off and I'll pound it out and fry it like a fried steak,
Yeah.
And it's like, it tastes like McDonald's chicken nuggets. But it's red meat. It's not like chicken. It's like red meat. It's like little steaks. It's incredible. Yeah. It's delicious. So yeah. Not only are they like really good, they're very plentiful. It's also good to shoot them because their population is very high, and they're managed like a lot. There's a lot of duck management all over the world, so they're not in risk of going extinct or anything like that. Like hunting them is actually a good thing for the management of them. So.
Yeah, that's another thing people don't understand about hunting in general is that a lot of the time it's a necessity. If we didn't go deer hunting every year around here, it would be ridiculous. Or go every so often, we got to go just clear out fucking coyotes, even though they're not good for shit. You know, you can't really eat a coyote. You can't do nothing but they'll fucking eat people's cattle. They'll fucking fuck up people's dogs. You know, they'll eat all the fucking game around here.
And then they'll start getting disease. Like when the overpopulation starts happening, that's when you start having like, I don't know, like abnormal, non-typical type things, which isn't really good in the population. It starts expressing, they start inbreeding and they start getting all these recessive genes that keep getting passed on that aren't supposed to get passed on.
On rabies and shit too. There's all kinds of stuff, you know, that could happen.
Yeah, it has to be managed somewhat because everything was managing itself until humans came along and like took over this area or whatever. So we have to, I don't know, it's twisted to think that we have to kind of manage it somehow, even though we came in. And
a huge thing that happened here in the 90s, they banned hunting cougars because cougars are becoming endangered. And it didn't, I mean, they're a fucking cat. So it didn't take very long for them to become overpopulated again. And you know, how they figured out that it was an issue is they start rolling into town and fucking people and dogs and cats and fucking all kinds of shit up. And fucking, like, you don't want to fuck with a cougar, man. They're fucking nasty.
It's illegal to kill them.
Huh?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then for a while they're coming to people and you can't fucking touch them because they're an endangered species up here. So finally they're like, yeah, I think it's time to start fucking killing some cougars again, you know?
Yeah.
And they're sneaky motherfuckers. They are.
We have them here. I mean, that's a mountain lion, right? A cougar is a mountain lion.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, a mountain lion.
Yeah, we have here. I've never seen one. Well, I take that back. I've seen one. But it was like while we were driving, I saw it real quick. I'm positive that was a mountain lion, but we have them here. But I see their aftermath. I see what they do to deer, and I've seen what they do to cow.
One got a hold of my grandma's Pomeranian one time.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but yeah, I'm sure there wasn't much left of it. And then, then at the same time, 3 pit bulls were like we're in the same area and heard it fucking with my grandma's dog. So they went and they got involved with it and they fought it off, but it fucked them up. Like they're injured bad. And 3 huge pit bulls.
Yeah, man.
Like,
that's crazy.
Didn't stand a fucking chance. I'm sure those dogs bailed, you know, that cat probably.
Is it still illegal to shoot them there now?
No, I'm not sure if there's a season or what. I know that, like, I think what you have to do is like, you got to call into the fishing game and be like, hey, yo, there's a cougar in town. And they'll be like, all right, you know, so fishing game will come kill it, or they'll give a green light to some good old boy in town they know can take care of it without making a mess of it, you know.
Go get it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's like people that contract out through fishing game too, like that essentially, I don't know if they I think they got a special license or something like that. So they'll like
licenses. I want that license.
Yeah.
Me out,
most of them are really, really old guys.
I'll be old one day.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be totally wrong too. I need Jody here Jody's more into the hunting side of shit.
License. I want this license. Something needs shooting. Call me. Card. Professional shooter.
But yeah, that's how they pretty much handle it now. That one went to Hepner about a year ago, and then I'm trying to think. I've heard them. One, I went out on break one time at work. I was working a graveyard shift, and I heard one. It sounded, I could tell that it wasn't a cat, but it didn't quite sound like a cougar. So I was pretty sure it was like a juvenile cougar. It almost sounded like that scene in The Lion King where Simba's trying to get his roar down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm serious. It was like almost exactly what it sounded like. So I was like, I'm going to go inside now.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, the next day, the facility that's down the road from us was like, a cougar got in our fucking garbage. We got it on video. Like, so I was like, I knew I'd heard it. And
crazy.
And then I saw something, and it might have been a deer just running really fast. And what I saw was like the illusion or like the tracer from it, but it looked like about the color of a cougar, but it was like long too, like a cougar. But then I was like, I didn't get a good enough look at it. So I was like, maybe it was just a deer like running real fast, and I didn't get and I just caught like just a glimpse of it, and it was like the tracer from it moving so fast. But that's the closest I got. I saw a bobcat once. Those are pretty cool looking. They're fast.
That's a lot of bobcats out here. They are fast. I only see them for a second, and they're gone.
It was really cool when I saw it because it was running right next to the pickup we were in. We're coming back from seeing Hank 3, and my buddy knows all these crazy fucking logging roads in Oregon, so he's just hauling ass. He's an old logger, and he's just hauling ass down this logging road, and we look over like, holy shit, there's a bobcat like right next to us. It kept fucking pace with us for like almost like probably half a mile, probably at least, before it turned off. And yeah, I was looking right at us.
That's cool. That would be cool to see.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. That was like, it's a moment I definitely won't forget. That's for sure. And then
Yeah,
saw a bear in the wild in Idaho once. That was pretty cool. I like bears a lot. So
that's cool. We saw some bears in Yellowstone one time. That was awesome. They were just like running across fast. Little black bears like shot across the road.
Yeah, they're all fast. They always like every time they film them, most of the time, like I don't know, it doesn't seem like they run that fast when they're filming them and you're watching them on TV, or like because they just seem so fucking slow, but they run like fucking 40 miles per hour or some shit.
Yeah, they're trying to somewhere they'll get there. They're moving fast.
Yeah, they're big ass motherfuckers. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the ass end of one of them. Yeah, I was in Shoshone, which I thought was cool too, because Shoshone is like kind of like Yellowstone, but it's free to go into. Because I ended up in Shoshone in Idaho by trying to go around Yellowstone because it was like, I don't know, $40 to drive through Yellowstone. And everybody says it takes forever. So I just like GPSed around it, and I ended up going through this park called Shoshone. I don't know if you've ever been through Shoshone on your tours.
I don't think so. We drive through Yellowstone like 2 or 3 times on tours, but we just did it. Like we almost did it on purpose, like as a plan, because it's cool.
Yeah, I should have, man. I think I was in a hurry that day, and it maybe super broke, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'd look over and there's like just a black bear, and I think it was a grizzly, because I almost couldn't even see it because it was like there was like right next to a hillside that was all dirt, and I was like, the only reason I noticed it was there is it moved, and I was like, what the fuck? And like I look over and there's this bear just like walking down the road. I was like, holy shit, that's the fucking coolest thing ever. And I'm like, I'm a huge bear fan, man. So that was like a big moment for me. I was super stoked.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but
bears are cool.
So what happened with your hemp company, buddy? Like, let's scroll into that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, how it broke my heart.
Yeah, man, I was pretty bummed. You guys were doing really good with that, man, and then it fucking felt like state of Texas kind of fucked you over, is what I was gathering from what I was reading.
It was going really well. The growing, we had gotten really good really fast. Not to like, I don't know. I think we had a good product, and we had really good feedback. I think we were doing a really good thing, and that was kind of like what hurt the most about it all, is that we were like, we could see the potential, not necessarily like money or anything like that, but we could just see that we could grow and expand, and we were starting to be able to do some things. We were able to help people. We were getting a lot of good feedback from like saying that our CBD and our THC delta 8 and stuff like that was like really helping people and things. So it was awesome. And then Texas, I don't know, man. Texas is weird, dude. The way the mentality, and then the way they legislate things. They talk a lot about freedom and anti-regulation and things like that. But with this industry, the regulations really just came down and they just crushed everything that we were doing. So starting out to kind of give everybody a little bit of a backstory, my brother and I, we were running a business called Clear Fork Cultivation. It was seed to sale, all the way, like totally vertically integrated. We grew everything, and we I don't know, we did it for 2 years. We had flour, we had oils, we had rubbing balms, we had a lot of different products, and it was starting to take off, and it was starting to do well. And then the state of Texas was supposed to, in the last legislative cycle, so Texas only does legislation every 2 years. So this year, nothing's going to happen. The only thing that could happen is next year, right? From whatever they changed this past year. And this past year, they made a giant gray area on the legality of everything. They banned smokable hemp products. They banned vape products. They banned Delta 8 in the state of Texas. And then there was all wishy-washy.
So Delta 8, sorry to stop you, but I don't think a lot of people probably know what Delta 8 is. And I think the only reason I do is you or somebody else might have told me about it. Can you take a brief second to tell everybody about Delta 8?
Yes. So so Delta 8 is a THC molecule that is slightly different. Like when you look at the diagram of the molecule itself, it looks slightly different. It has one bar on the 8th protein instead of on the 9th protein, but it has a very similar effect to THC Delta 9. But the issue is that Delta 8 doesn't really come naturally in abundance in a cannabis plant. So what they were doing, the way that Delta 9 does, like Delta 9 THC is naturally, that's what a cannabis plant wants to create. So there's this loophole whenever they made the farm bill, and they said that hemp is a cannabis product or a cannabis plant or whatever that has less than 0.3% THC Delta 9. So that Delta 9, THC Delta 9, that's the only thing that makes something marijuana whenever the 0.3% is higher in concentration. So people learned that if you take hemp oil, all this excess CBD oil that is all over the world, because everybody like that peaked, and now everybody's got tons of CBD oil. So what do they do to it? They process it and they cook it down and they add carbon to it, and they summarize it, and I think that's the right word. I don't know. I'm not a chemist. And they create Delta 8 THC out of it. And it has a very similar effect. It's not as potent as Delta 9. But then after Delta 8 came out, then they created Delta 10. And supposedly that's even more potent than Delta 9 is, or whatever.
I don't fucking need anything more than 9, man.
Dude. Why can't leave this plant alone? You put a seed in the ground and it grows and it creates this bud that has this medicine in it that we can take, and you don't have to add any solvent. You don't have to do anything to it. It does it on its own. You can help it to do more and push it different. You can add your human element to it, but it's this medicine that grows out of the ground that helps a myriad of different issues. Why are we playing this game? Making this illegal, but this like synthesized, man-made kind of thing, this this creation. Why are we letting that go? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So there was a lot of gray area. I mean, I'm not totally against Delta 8. I totally understand the market for it. There is a market for it because there are states like Texas that won't let you have Delta 9. So I know a lot of people that are getting by, and it's legal. Mm-hmm. It's in this gray area for some states. Texas, they made it illegal. Yeah. So, and then back and forth. I've got a daughter. I live on an amazing property. I've got an awesome life. I don't know. I got sketched out, and I got to a point where I was like, I don't want a damn DEA raid or a Texas DEA raid, or, the Texas Rangers coming up to the ranch with guns drawn or something like that, because we've been selling Delta 8 and some package gets intercepted. So, you know what I mean? Like I was getting in my own head about it, and I was just like, I'm out. This is, there was a part of it that was like, I don't like their rules, so I'm not playing their game, so I'm not doing it on a commercial level. Whatever we do at home on a personal level, that's on us. But we don't have to get inspected by the state anymore. I let all our licenses lapse and everything. And as much as I really did enjoy that, having those licenses lapse and just having the little, doing our own thing and not have to worry about lot permits and getting somebody to come out and take a sample, and the stress that it was like, is this going to be above 0.3% to you? It's so stupid. I was like, I hate this game, and I'm not doing it anymore. So
I get it, man. That's any kind of game like that involving cannabis in any way or hemp, it seems to me like it'd be way too much stress for me to want to deal with,
Yeah.
But then I'm with you, man. And it's just like, I don't get it though, man. It's just a fucking plant. Like nobody has ever rarely gotten hurt from weed, I'm like totally with you, especially on like I think it's like, why do people got to fuck with it as a plant? That's when it kind of starts becoming like a drug. Like people taking dabs and shit. Like, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with a dab. Like, I'll smoke.
Extraction. For some people though, like I can understand the extractions, like the tinctures and stuff like that, because some people just don't like to smoke it. And that's realistically, smoking is not the best.
No, it's not. And it's good for like cancer patients and shit like that. But it just depends on how they get it too, because sometimes there's a dirty fucking process to getting it too sometimes.
Yeah. So that's really what we need to have. It needs to be, and I'm pretty anti-regulation myself, but there needs to be some sort of regulation. And with the hemp program in Texas, it was like all these regulations were on paper, and I was doing my best to abide by them all. And as I was talking to other farmers around that were like winning awards and making tons of money, I was like, oh man, can I see the certificate of analysis on this amazing flower that you just won a trophy on? They're like, I didn't do that. It cost $600. That test is $600. I was like, yeah, you have to do that. That's how you're playing
by the rules, and all these people that are getting awards and shit are not.
It's like how you keep people from getting sick, man. Like and then somebody's going to take some sort of CBD tincture that they get at the gas station that was grown in whatever and get sick, and then make the whole industry hurt for it. I was like, fuck this, dude. I'm just going to do my own thing, man. So Texas legalized, we'll be right. But I don't think I'm gonna try to have like a dispensary or anything like that. We're just gonna do our own thing,
Yeah, a dispensary would probably be easier to run than an actual like farm, I feel like.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's got its own headaches too,
I thought about trying to get my bud tender's license and just fucking. But I just got a new job that's paying me a bit of money, and I work pretty hard to get it. So maybe down the line, just for fun on the weekends or something, But yeah, I thought about doing it, and then I've kind of stopped smoking so much weed. So I think that's a job. You got to keep up with the strains. You got to keep up with knowing what the strains do and shit. And that's something I'm kind of out of the loop on now, I kind of go through phases with it where like I want it and then I put it down, because like if I smoke it and I become like in stoner mode kind of for too long, I start getting paranoid and it stops working for me. So I put it down, wait a bit, and then start using it again.
I've been I just stuttered like a lot right now, but I had like a million thoughts cross through my brain that I wanted to get out at one time. I've been trying to cut down on smoking a little as much, because I don't know, my throat hurts. It hurts to sing. It's like it thrashes my voice. I'm trying to quit, because I smoke spliffs a lot too. So like I smoke tobacco in my joints a lot of times. So I've been trying to cut down on just smoking as much in general. So I got this Levo machine. You ever seen that? Little, like, it looks like a coffee pot, and it just sits on your countertop, and you could put like you could put like a half ounce of weed in this little canister thing. You grind it all up or whatever, and you put it in this little canister, and you put some oil in it, and you hit the button, and it just like infuses it, and it spits it out, like it pours it out into a little cup, and then you just have like this tincture. It just like makes the tincture for you, so you don't, and it doesn't smell real bad. Cleanup's real easy. So I got that.
What kind of oil do you use?
You can do anything. You can infuse all sorts of stuff. So I started with just like clear MCT coconut oil. That's like what we were using to make our CBD tinctures, with clear forward cultivation. And that works really good. And you can infuse all sorts of stuff in there too. Like I also started getting some like essential oils, like put a little peppermint drop in there, and different things like that. And then I started making fat bombs. You know what fat bombs are?
No.
It's like a coconut oil. It's for like people on a keto diet, and it's supposed to be like a dessert for somebody on like a keto diet. So it's like a lot of coconut oil, and like some peanut butter mixed up into it. So I infuse the coconut oil and then just mix up some peanut butter with it. And it's almost like a little bonbon. You freeze them. It's like a little bonbon. It's not, because my brother was making these like chocolate bars, and we were making cookies. We were making dozens of cookies. We're just getting fat on just like getting high. Yeah, I was like, man, like I want to like try to make something to where we can eat it and it's not like 1 billion calories and like all the sugar and stuff. So yeah, I just infused some coconut oil and then mix it up with some peanut butter and freeze it in a little ball, and it's like a little dessert. And
yeah. Well, the fuck is the name of that guy? There's this dude, a big guy. Is a rapper guy. He does this cooking show, and he'd even cook like steaks with oil and shit, you know. So like the sky's the limit with that.
it is.
Man.
Yeah.
You can. People tend to think you just have to cook sweet shit, but you can just pour a little on your salad if you want. Really.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely can. Yeah.
For me,
I don't get it all.
Yeah.
You know? Like you could, I don't know, you could like sop it up with your bread. I just like to know how much I'm taking, you know, like I don't want to just like pour like salad dressing on it.
Yeah.
Like, what if I don't eat my whole salad? Like I have to eat the whole salad to eat all the weed.
Yeah. For me, man, like I don't do edibles well, man. My body does not process them good at all, dude. It hits me like a fucking freight train, and so I kind of stay away from them these days, man. But
like Liz, it'll shut her down. Liz cannot do edibles. I like them. It's different. It's a different feeling than smoking. It's actually a different chemical. Whenever your liver metabolizes it, it's not actually delta 9 THC that is circulating through your body. It's a different, I don't know, I forget what the chemical makeup is, but it's actually a different makeup than delta 9 THC.
that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, because it's a different feeling all in general, you know. I think I'm gonna do some mushrooms soon, man.
Yeah, do that.
Have you ever done mushrooms?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like mushrooms.
It's been a while.
Because just since the babies, since we had the baby, I haven't, but I need to. I look at hallucinogens as a medicinal thing. Definitely. I need to do it every so often. It's kind of like hitting a little reset button. Like it's kind of like defragmenting your computer a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that too, man. And I was doing them too much, and I started having bad trips, and it kind of stirred me away. But I think that's why I was having bad trips, is I was just doing them too much. They're like a special occasion, like you said, just to reset yourself. Yeah. And I think maybe if I did, I think I need to do something. Is what I think. I think I need to hit that reset button, man, because just life gets you, man, and you gotta. I don't know, they're really, when I would do them back in the day, they're so fucking enlightening, and you just have that feeling for days, and it kind of carries with you, but yeah, I need that. That's kind of goes along with with me not smoking weed though, is like, it's been so long for me, like, and the mushrooms have gotten so fucking strong. Like, I don't want to like go to the fucking spirit world,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I just want to fucking hit that reset button just enough,
Yeah. I found that yeah, because I've had some trips that I ate too much and I went too far, and it did really good afterwards. But I
think they have their meaning too. But I'm just not in the big hurry to do them again. You ever
think about going humming?
I have thought about it. That's really going to another like fucking another fucking that kind of takes it to another level. And but I have been thinking about it. I talk about this with Honeycut a lot, actually. I don't know what I would do, I always said I would try DMT or something similar to it if I was in the right place at the right time. I'd have to be with somebody I really trusted, that really knew what they were doing, and I could not be around anybody I didn't trust at all. Ironically enough, I was on tour with Bob right before you and Liz joined the band, when it was the The lineup was Pat, Brown, Dan, Infecto, and Uncle Buck at that time. And we ended up in Arizona over at Maynard's place. Did you ever end up there with him?
No, we never did go there.
Yeah, it's in Jerome, Arizona, and it's fucking crazy to get out there, but they had Toad out there. That Toad that's like really similar to DMT, and they were really wanting somebody to do that. And everybody in the band at that time was sober except me. So they were going like, do it, dog bite, do it. Well, and Dan's always kind of like, Dan's kind of like sober for a minute and then sometimes he's not, but he's kind of like, he in his mind being off heroin and stuff like that, that's sober. So like he wanted to do it bad. So he was like, I'll do it if you do it. And I was like, fuck. I was like, all right, man. But they talked him out of it, but they were trying to talk me into it. And all I could think, I was like, Bob is going to fuck with me hard. Like, I'm not doing this shit around Bob Wayne of all fucking people. Like,
yeah, I've tripped around Bob.
Especially the mood that he was in. Like, like I could tell, like, if I can tell when Bob's like feeling responsible, like he would be like, all right, like I'll watch over you when you do it. He was not in that mode.
Yeah.
Not at fucking all that day. So I was like, there's no, and I straight up said, like, there's no way in hell I'm going to fucking take this fucking drug and let you guys fuck with me and videotape me freaking out and shit. Like, no. It only lasts like a few minutes. I'm like, yeah, I know what that means though. Those are the best kind of hallucinogens. I'm going to feel like I'm in that world for fucking 25 years.
Only 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I did that. Yeah, if I could ever find a situation where it was with somebody I really trust, because I'm gonna freak out either way. That's just how I am, but that's kind of the point. You go in there and you learn about yourself and you come out of it better, But those things are tough for me though. There's a lot of fucking darkness inside this old head, and whenever I take those, it comes out. So but mushrooms, it's always a little bit different, so it's a hit or miss. Sometimes I can really, but it's also the same. Like I kind of am better off doing mushrooms by myself, like sometimes I can do them with other people, but it's got to be just like that right person that isn't stupid when they get high on them. Like if I can find a buddy that'll just like walk around and look at shit with me and barely say anything, we're cool. But if I get that person that wants to dance and fucking talk all the fucking time,
no,
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not good. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do shamans fuck with mushrooms too?
I've never been, but I've talked to a few people around here who have been to a few different ones in some of the cities that are around here. And from what I've heard, there's like options. Like one guy said that he went to a retreat. It was like a 3-day retreat. The first day was, what was it? Like one day was mushrooms. One day was something else. And then the last day was DMT. It was like 3 days of like intense shit like that. He left after he did the mushroom day and was like, I got what I came here for. He's like, and it was, I mean, he could totally do that, but that was like the package that you had to buy. And it seemed pretty affordable what it was. And then another guy that I know, he just knows a guy in a city and he has a variety of different things from ayahuasca to DMT to acid to mushrooms to different like psilocybin, truffles to, he has just like a variety of things. And it's like, there's different packages or whatever, I guess you get. So
they'll set you on the right path to being able to get what you need, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I would like to do something like that because I need, even though we live in like the best place in the world to trip, we live in the middle of nowhere, like there's no one around for miles, but just being at home, like with the family there, and like that's, where home is or whatever, I think for me to like really get the most out of something like that, I think I would need to go somewhere. And I like the idea too of a shaman, just like somebody there that has done it a lot of times like, oh, he's going through this, you know, like somebody that just knows it and just knows what you're going through and can kind of not really guide me. Not that I need like a guidance, but I kind of want to take like a heavy dose and somebody to kind of be there and make sure everything's all right.
Yeah, I got you, man.
But it would be weird. I didn't really know. You know, that would be kind of strange.
100%. That's what I was just thinking too. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd be like okay with like Honeycutt playing that role if he knew how to dose somebody, you know, like
yeah.
Because that's who I've been talking about a lot of this shit with, you know, and he's pretty sober, but he was like, you know, he said he was thinking about trying to go down and do it like completely the right way. Just go get some ayahuasca and completely go into like a legit shaman. But I think he knew somebody or something, you know. So
anybody I've ever talked to that has done it has always had great things to say about it, and I'm curious. I'm interested.
Yeah, that's me too. And everybody, it's funny though because everybody's like, it's insanely scary. It fucking
shit.
Yeah, but everybody I know that has taken it has said they've walked away like a better person, and that's like what I'm looking for because they say it like essentially they say it kills your ego like completely, and they're like that's like 90% of what's wrong with anything in the world is like we naturally have an ego. So if you can kill that ego, and it's weird because even just listening to people talk about it, and I know like a lot of people are probably that might hear me say this will laugh, especially considering what's going on. But the first time I ever really heard anybody really talk about it is I listened to Joe Rogan and Mike Tyson talk about taking DMT. And to hear Mike Tyson talk about how DMT like changed his life and killed his ego and made him a totally different person. And like it was totally for the best for him. That was like what made me like raise an eyebrow. And you can see it just like how he talks about life in general now. That guy is like,
no, he used to be a complete monster.
Yeah, you know? And he went in the podcast of like he was trained to be that way. Like he was like talking about his mom used to like let him smoke meth at like or you know crack at like fucking 12, you know, like and they're like would give him like weed when he was like 8 just to get him to go to sleep and shit, you know, like so his whole upbringing. And then they found out he was good at boxing at around like 14. So they're essentially what they do there is they don't do anything to kill your ego in that. They just yell at you and tell you how fucking great you are. So he was like brainwashed to think he was fucking special because I mean, he was special, but you know, when you're that young and that stupid, that jacked up on drugs, and he's like, and nobody should have gave me that much money at that age. He's like, cause then you just fucking do whatever you fucking want until it all comes down on you, you know? But he just listening to a guy like that, talk about how much it changed his life and I'm like, made sense just how he spoke about like everybody's ego, you know, it's like, you don't think you got one until you hear somebody like that talk about it. And then you realize just hearing that made me realize how big my ego is and how much of a problem it is in my life. Yeah. You know, and that's kind of the first step to figuring out how to fix yourself. If you've got problems like I do anyways, you know, it's like I said, I didn't even realize I had an ego because I'm so, I guess like self-conscious about everything I do, you know, but your ego,
give and take, you know, it's it is a subconscious thing, but there's like the ego on the other side that brings it about, you know, there's the high and a low to it for sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I wanted to do it too. And at that point in time, I was kind of done with drugs in general, except maybe a little weed. And I did want to, at that point in time, maybe fuck with mushrooms again. But then I was like, you know what? I'll do it if it's in the right place at the right time. You know, I don't think I'd plan it. I think it would have to be, I was just in the right place at the right time, you know.
Aren't mushrooms legal there?
Yeah, mushrooms are. I mean, I'm talking about DMT.
I had one opportunity to do it one time. I told a friend of mine I would really like to do it. The next time I saw that friend, they brought it, and I was extremely hungover. And I was like, I just can't. Now is not the time. I'm in a terrible mood. I feel terrible. Everything is terrible, terrible, terrible. I'm so hungover, and I didn't do it. That was the only time I have gotten a chance to, but I'd like to try it, especially because it's so fast. That's what I like about it. I love acid, but it's such a commitment. You're going to be doing it all day.
Yeah. I never got to acid in my day.
I love it. awesome. It's so fun.
When you're talking about your buddy who did mushrooms on that retreat and then was like, I got everything I needed out of this.
Yeah.
That was kind of me. Like when I was younger, I had all these ambitions to like try peyote and fucking try like acid. I wanted to try everything. And then I took an eighth of mushrooms and they were better than any mushrooms I'd ever taken before. And I was like, I think I got everything I need out of this.
I'm good. I don't need further. Yep. Totally.
It's funny, but now I'm thinking about DMT, but it's kind of a totally different drug, really, and a totally different effect. And even though you know you're going to go into it having some crazy shit happen, the outcome is potentially better. So, and maybe might make you a better person. So that's like kind of why I'm considering doing that if it's in the right place. But mushrooms, like I'm kind of still in the same place there. Like I just like want to make sure like it's kind of like the weed I was saying earlier, like the strains have gotten stronger. There's more of them. Back in the day, I used to just get an eighth of Cubenzis and pop a few and then pop a few, you know, and nowadays I don't know what I'm doing and I don't like that, you know. I could look at a Cubenzi and be like, that's a fucking Cubenzi, or a Liberty Cap. There's like two different kinds, you know. You eat more Liberty Caps than Cubenzis, and that was it, you know. And but now there's like, I got some mushrooms actually, and I was like, I've never fucking seen these before in my life. And my buddy was like, oh, you know, I took some, but I'm like, he fucking does all kinds of shit. I'm like, I'm not you, dude.
Yeah,
like, I know that.
Sick off of psilocybin truffles one time. Liz and I, we were on tour with Bob, and we were in Amsterdam, and we had a day off, and we went to a smart shop, and then you could just buy them, little Tupperware of like psilocybin truffles. And Liz ate them, and I ate them, and she threw hers up immediately, and I held mine down, and there was something bad about them, and they poisoned me. Like I didn't even, it wasn't even tripping. They just straight poisoned me. We had done that before with like a different strain. They had different kinds or whatever. And this time we were like, let's try this one. And that was the wrong one to take because we had done it before and had a great time. It was awesome. But these, man, I was so sick and I was really leery about ever eating mushrooms ever again because they don't really sit right in my stomach. That's kind of what I like about acid. Acid doesn't like make me want to throw up the way that mushrooms do, you know.
You might have a slight allergy to them or something, man.
Yeah.
I never had that problem. They never made me sick. I just fucking always felt great on them. Except like the last time I did, actually I puked a lot. Like on one of the bad trips I had, I threw up, but I think I was just trying to get them out because I was just flipping out, you know.
Get at it.
Yeah. So it's hard telling. I was frying balls.
Oh, yeah.
Well, shit, man. So you guys aren't doing nothing with the Urban Pioneers, huh?
Not really anything going on right now. We've kind of got a pretty clear calendar. We will be in Chicago in May at Moonrunners Music Festival. We'll be playing with the Urban Pioneers and with Jake Orvis and the Broken Band. But as of right now, that is all we have on the books, and it's sad and frustrating, but we will be back someday. I don't know when, but we will be back on the road again.
Yeah, man. I'd like to go see you guys play with Jake. That would be good to see you guys all back together again, man.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That doesn't happen as much as it used to.
No, it hasn't happened in quite a while. And even then, even like when it did used to happen, it was only like once or so a year. So
yeah,
it's good. Jake and James are awesome. I love playing with them. It'd be great if Joe Perez could be there. He might be there.
Right on.
Yeah, man. Get the whole crew together and throw it down. It'd be fun.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. I was thinking about going, but I'm getting my ACL replaced like a few weeks before that. So I don't think I'm going to be able to make it out, but I was going to fly out to just go see everybody because that's a good lineup. Probably one of my favorite ones I've seen for a minute.
Yeah. Good one. Should be a good festival. I'm excited for it. And it's like going to be one of the only ones that we do this year. So I'm going to have fun.
Yeah, for sure. You better drink it in. Eat some of those Reggie's wings, man.
Yeah. We're getting a babysitter. My mom's going to watch Maybell, and Liz is going to fly up there. And Martin and I are going to drive. and we're gonna party. I'm excited. Get a babysitter night.
Nice. That'll be great, man. You guys put an album out not too long ago though, right?
It was like before COVID happened.
Oh, really?
The name
I thought
of
you
it.
put one out during COVID.
No. I've been writing a little bit, but I just like my music creativity is like shot because like everything that I used to write, I got it from being on the road. You know, like all my writing always happened on the road, and all of our playing, and that's like when we got tight, and that's where all of our ideas came from. It came from being on the road. So when we got grounded, it's like, well, I don't have nothing to write. I mean, I got some stuff to write about. I've written a little bit, but we used to crank out an album every year, and we're just chilling, man. Just shooting stuff.
Well, yeah, man, and honestly, dude, like I can't remember who I was talking about this with, but somebody like I envy these people that can just crank out good songs when they snap their fingers, you know, because like if I write something, I've got to really, really like it to want to present it, you know, and I think it's from years of just putting out shit, you know, too, where I was like, oh, well, I got a tour coming up, so I better drop an album or whatever, you know. So, but anymore, I'm like to the point where like I don't force a song, you know, like I've got to be in the right mood to write one. And essentially, if I'm not going to put a song out there that I'm not really happy with. So I would say just don't force it, you know, like if you don't feel like writing, you're not in that space, don't do it, man.
I tried to force it for a little while, and that was fun. But I didn't really get anything good out of it. Like my goal, like while I was doing that, like, so I was trying to come up with a concept and just write a song a week, right? Doesn't matter what it's about. Just put some words together to a melody that rhyme, just do something, you know, like, cause I wasn't writing anything. So I did that for a little while, and I got like one or two out of it that I did like, but it was really just like practice. And I don't know, it was forcing it. And like when I write a song, I've always kind of talked about it as like I'm like a song catcher. Like I don't feel like I write songs. Like when a song comes out, I feel like it's already written a lot of times. Does that make any sense? It's weird.
No, totally, man. It's like
Yeah.
I actually the other day I've been working on some stuff finally for the first time in years. So like been going through some shit, and I don't know. For me, I don't know how it is for you or everybody else, but for me, my guts tell me when I'm ready to write a song.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes I'll sit down with my guitar and I'll try to write a song, you know, and try to fool myself, but my guts really tell me. And I know I'm at that place now. So I've been working on some stuff. Brody. My pit bull's upset because the other dog is in the chair with me, so he's throwing a temper tantrum right now. You there? Uh-oh. But yeah, so for me, I was like, with songwriting, I just like, I know when it's there. And it's funny, the other day I sat down with my guitar and I kind of like keep a notebook in my phone of just like when I'm driving, I come up with like a one-liner, and I'm like, because I'll forget that shit and hate myself for it. Like I'll come up with something that I think is just genius. And sometimes I look back at it, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot, you know, but sometimes
You gotta write it down though, or if you don't,
yeah.
like I say, write everything down. If you don't, you're gonna lose it, you know?
So I was looking through, and then I saw this fucking line, and I was like, I don't even remember writing it, but I was like, that's fucking pretty good. And I just started like a whole song from that, you know. Hank Williams said, if you can't write a song in 10 minutes, it ain't worth writing, you know. So
yeah, sometimes they take years.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little longer than 10 minutes, but I get the concept that he was saying, you know, like if it doesn't come easy, it's probably not worth it, you know, unless you're like Pink Floyd or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't force it.
Well, shit, man. Thanks for coming on. I think probably let you get down the road. It's probably
Yeah, man. Thanks for
was like
having
100
me.
degrees in Texas there yet, or
I think it's like 74 right now.
that's perfect actually, huh?
Yeah. If I like, I'm waiting for it to just like stop dipping below freezing overnight, and then I'll be pretty excited about it. It's like duck season's over. It's like, all right, cold, get out of here. Like,
Yeah.
when the ducks are when I can shoot them, then it can be cold. But now I'm ready for it to be over for sure.
So before you go, and hopefully I don't open up a can of worms, I did want to mention this because like every there like there's those people that just fucking love Texas, man. Are you one of those people now that you live there? Because I feel like if I jump through all those hoops with the hemp farm and shit, that maybe I'd have a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. Because you're not a Texan. Liz is the Texan, right?
Liz, born and raised, is from Texas. I grew up. I've lived in a lot of different places. I was born in Florida. I've lived in Louisiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. I've lived, like, had addresses there. I've lived everywhere. I have no loyalty to any state line.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
because there's certain places that are special, and I never really had a good time touring through Texas per se, but there is like a special feeling in that state, I think.
I do love Texas. If it wasn't for all the damn Texans, it would be an amazing place.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, so I do love it here. Texas is amazing. There's a lot of things about the general stereotypical Texas attitude that I love, and there's a lot of things about it that I hate. And I wish a lot of people would really look down in their soul and figure out what they believe and what they really value in their heart, instead of a lot of slogans and a lot of catchphrases that are thrown around in Texas and stuff like that. Like, I believe in this. It's like, well, what about if it pertains to this particular thing? Do you still believe in? No, that's not that. That's a different thing. It's
Yeah.
like, whether it's personal freedom. I mean, you could talk about a lot of different political issues. And I feel like a lot of Texans believe in freedom and personal freedom, and not having to answer to anyone else, not having to answer to the government and things like that. But then when it comes to certain issues, they're okay saying that the government can do, you know what I mean? There's a
Yeah.
lot of contradiction. And I think if they really would like do a little bit of soul searching instead of just touting slogans and flying flags and things like that, then I think they would understand, or just apply their own values that they think they have to, like, across the board, instead of being able to change it here and there for it to fit how you feel it. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Personally, I think that's something that can be used all over the country, especially these days. The elections and Trump and Biden, Bernie, whoever. I mean, politicians have all kind of drawn that line, and I think, and I don't want to throw any stones because I'm not political myself and I don't give a fuck about any party, but I do feel like a lot of conservatives do kind of be like, we want our freedom. Well, motherfucker, we want ours too. I want to be able to smoke weed.
Freedom, totally.
I want to be like, where's it stop? Like, you just want your freedoms, you don't give a fuck about mine. You want to be able to have a gun. You want to be able to do that. I'm great. Like, I support that shit, but I also support my friends that want to fucking smoke weed, or my gay friends that want to get fucking married. I support that little girl that got molested by her uncle to be able to fucking abort that fucking child that he put inside of her if she fucking needs to,
If,
so it's
if
like,
that's, everything is a case by case basis, and I feel like everybody should be able to do whatever they want in that case.
yep, as long as it's not hurting somebody else, man, and another thing too, I mean, I support my trans friends who want to fucking transition, like,
yeah. I support anybody that wants to do something that's not hurting somebody else. You want to do something, you feel that something is wrong and you want to make a change, I support you in that. I don't support censorship. And I hear a lot of Texans talk about how cancel culture is this and blah, 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 all this censorship or whatever. Meanwhile, they're banning books in school, and
Yeah.
they're censoring teachers from actually being able to teach history in Texas.
Mhm.
So that things like that are very frustrating, and I wish they would just look at themselves in the mirror and understand that. Another thing that really scares me about Texas, I don't know, people might be getting really mad at me and if they hear this and say that I'm a Texas hater. I love Texas. I love it here. I will live here and I'll die here. Like I'll live here the rest of my life. I tried to go to Oklahoma during the last election cycle. I went out, put an offer on a house up there, and Liz and I had a long conversation, and we decided that we were going to stay in Texas, and I'll be here
Texas
forever.
is better
But
than Oklahoma, I think, man.
I don't know. For me, man, it's Oklahoma really is better
You think
for
so?
me. I'm a disabled veteran, and the benefits for disabled veterans in Oklahoma and me and my particular lifestyle, it would be better in Oklahoma. Disabled veterans don't pay sales tax in Oklahoma. You
Oh,
get a little card. Yeah, you don't pay sales tax. You get a medical marijuana card for $25 a year. Just like there's a lot of, and there's also sorts of other crazy ass perks that you get as a disabled veteran just across the border. That's like 2 hours north of here. But another thing that really scares me and frustrates me, I used to think it was funny, and now it's scary. Is a lot of Texans are all about this Texas nationalism. There's this like push for in Texas, especially in rural Texas, not really so much in the cities, but there's a lot of places that want to secede, and they really want to do it, and they're crazy, and I think they really do want to do it. And if it ended up on a ballot somehow, I think they would really vote for it, not understanding what they're doing. The like the whole make Texas a state again, like you'll definitely see those flags and those hats around here and stuff, and they want to the more the federal government tries to put some sort of mandate there, that's the more that this wedge is getting getting shoved in there. So when I hear like things like the national beer of Texas is Lone Star, right? I used to love Lone Star, and then I was drinking it one day, and I looked at the can and I was like, fuck that, dude. I fucking threw. I was like, fuck that, dude. National beer, like, no, dude. I fought for the United States. I am an American. Borders, all these things or whatever. Like, I am not trying to get in a fight so that Texas can be its own. No, 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 no. I just want to live the rest of my life in peace with freedom. I don't support any of this nationalism, redrawing any fucking lines or anything like that. Leave me the fuck alone.
yeah. Here in Oregon, there's always a big thing where essentially the Brody, fucking stop. You're not gonna die. There's this thing where the eastern side of Oregon is all like kind of the country folk. I think you've been out here, you know,
Yeah.
where all the farming's at and shit like that. And then you get over to the city, and that's like the Portland area, Salem area, essentially like the whole I-5 area. It's where all the population's at. So they outvote everybody over here. A lot of the money's coming from over here, and you know, they decide a lot of what happens over here, not really knowing how it works over here. You know,
Yeah.
so they've wanted for a while, they wanted to split off into their own state because Washington has the same exact problem because it's pretty much the same kind of landmass, same kind of people on the eastern side. So they wanted to split Washington and Oregon down the middle and like make them both like a state. Well, now Idaho's like gotten in the middle and we're like, we'll take you guys. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
okay
no,
until
no, no.
Idaho got involved.
I
Like,
don't want to be in.
like I would kind of like it, but like, no, keep Idaho the fuck out of this. And
Yeah,
like, then
yeah.
people are like into it. Now there's people, you know, like, let's become Idaho. I'm like, no, like, fucking, it was all right. I was like, cool if you guys want to make your own state, but like, keep Idaho the fuck out of here because we're
Yeah.
going to be fucking having a right to work state. Nobody's going to get paid. Weed's going to be illegal again. Like, there's a million things I can think of that
sounds awful.
yeah, it's going to be ran by Mormons. Like, no, I'm good, man. Like,
Yeah.
like, and I don't want to move over there either because I don't particularly fucking like it over there. Like, I'm kind of, oh, if I'm going to stay in Oregon, like, here's fine, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I will move over there if you guys go to fucking Idaho, or I'll move someplace completely fucking different. Like, it's kind of been my idea anyways, because essentially a lot of the rent's going up over here now because like people are tired of Portland and the pandemic's made it easy for people to work from home. Amazon's moved in. Part of the reason that you want to stay here is because rent's cheap and everything's cheap here, and it's not cheap anymore. It's getting to where, so I've been like looking into other places. Like I might move to Kansas or something at some point, you know, just
Kansas is cool.
yeah, man. And apparently it's got like a pretty decent wage and a pretty affordable housing like right now. So, but
Yeah.
where
A lot
it's
of music there.
Yeah, man, and there's a lot of music around it too. It's real close to a lot of things. That's a shitty thing about being in Oregon. It's like I can't drive to Moonrunners in 4 hours or 5 hours. You
Yeah,
know, like I gotta
yeah.
fucking get on a plane or book a whole fucking tour out there. You know, and
Mhm.
it's like that with anything. Muddy Roots, anything I want to fucking do is centrally located or like a lot
Yeah.
easier to get to from the center of the country. You know, and not much happens out here that's all that great. You know, for what I do in music, anyways. You know.
Yeah.
But
You put it on.
not anymore,
Something
man. I
goes,
kind
yeah.
of canceled, but you know, like there's talks of doing something else. I found some land, so maybe down the road. But I just it's got to be perfect, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm not taking any compromises if I do it again. Like I'm doing it my fucking way, no compromises. I'm gonna make sure it's done right, make sure that all the costs is covered before I go into it, so everybody's getting exactly what I tell them when I tell them, and I don't have to, you know, like pay them later or fucking
Yeah.
deal.
Move stuff around. Yeah.
Yeah, and and then it's just or have the stress of it, you know, or like walk away with nothing or spending my whole paycheck to pay everybody out when I'm supposed to at the end using
Yeah.
what I made, you know. So it's just and you know, part of that's my fault too. I just like I started doing that when I was way too young to understand what I was like doing too. Like I kind of just learned as I went and made a lot of big mistakes. So I think I could do it better again, but I really need to be prepared and like know, do some research and just know that everything's taken care of, you know?
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, I mean, I'd like to have something the size of Muddy Roots out here, to be honest, you know, but you got to
Yeah.
offer them that freedom. And it's really hard to in this area, you know. Tennessee's a real free state, you know, and I don't know if people understand that, you know. Jason's blessed to have that land. It's privately owned land. He doesn't have to answer to anybody, really. You know, they can just do whatever the fuck they want out here. Everything here, you have a drop of liquor on anything, whether it's private property or not, you got to answer to the state of Oregon here, you know, and it's fucking bitch. You know, they can
Yeah.
show up at any time and fine you.
I mean, I wonder how. Well, that's because that land has the alcohol license where he's at. They happen to
Yeah.
have a license too. You know.
Do they?
But
Yeah, but it's still weird because so here with how it works is if you're serving alcohol, and this was everybody's big bitch about Ruckus. If you're serving alcohol with a license here, you can't bring your own in. You know, the person that's serving that alcohol or has the license has to be serving that alcohol. The people that are serving it have to be licensed and they have to be regulating it. So like, you know, people would
yeah.
come here, they'd drive to the middle of fucking nowhere, and then there's all these stupid rules like, oh, you can't walk past this line, you know, it's got to be fenced in, the whole fucking thing, and you can't leave with your fucking beer in your hand, and like so the people at the bar are yelling at people to come back in. People are getting pissed because they're yelling at them because they don't understand that that's like if a cop rolled up and there's somebody outside standing there with a beer, it's like a fucking $1,000 fine for each person that's got a beer, you know. And just small mom and pop bar, $1,000 pays somebody's fucking 2-week wage there, you know. So
Yeah.
but people, yeah, they don't get it, you know. But I think there's a way where I can make it like a private party and just have it be like BYOB without any alcohol licensing.
Yeah.
But
If
I've
it's
got to
BYOB, it should be all right.
I have to have insurance and I got to be sure that's okay before I just roll the dice on it, you know?
Yeah.
So, but anyways, fuck, I talked a shit ton about me to end this fucking interview off, man, and longer than I was hoping to because I know you're trying to get out of here, but do you want to add anything before we get off here, man?
Everybody take care of yourselves, man. Hope to see y'all again soon. You could still listen to us on all streaming platforms. Urban Pioneers is our band. And hopefully we'll be back on tour again soon. There's not really much going on our website or Facebook or anything, but go listen to us and we'll get like 3 cents per song or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's like a half a cent per song on Spotify or something. Or
yeah, just listen to it.
Do you guys have any merch in your store?
I took it all down. We don't really have anything. Like we haven't done anything. We haven't done anything. Haven't made any new merch. We do have some T-shirts and stuff, but it's like all old stock from 3 years ago now, from like the last tour that we did prior to COVID. So yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for coming on. It's always good to see and talk with you, buddy. We'll get you back on.
Man.
Get you back on
Hell
next
yeah,
year.
thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. It was always good talking to you, dude. Yeah, hit me up. We'll talk again.
Yeah, man. I'll watch. Yep, exactly, man. All right. It was good seeing you, Jared.
Good seeing you, dude. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Yep, bye. Thank you all for tuning in to Double Talking with Dog by Harris. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Please be sure to go check out our homie $2 Elvis. Also be sure to like all the Urban Pioneers pages and go and listen to their music and stream it. Be sure to like ours too and follow us on all the podcasts. You got Dog Water Radio, Useless and Alone podcast, Double Talking with Dog Bite. Lots of good stuff out there. We're putting lots of good content out there, and we would appreciate you following us. And we're going to send you out with Urban Pioneers Walk This Earth. We'll see you next week when we have our guest Joey Henry from the Calamity Cubes.
Share of running round, never thought I'd settle down, and then you turned me. Now no matter what comes along, and nothing can keep us apart. Now we walk this earth together, let the world go and spin out of control. When I tell you that I love you means forever, and that I'll never let you go. To my song, your opinion's right or wrong, it's just chatter. Try your best to restrict us, breaking boundaries is how we have our fun. Now we walk this earth together, let the world go and spin out of control. When I tell you that I love you means forever, and that I'll never let you go. Times, we're equipped for the win. By my side, there ain't no way we can win. From the first time that I saw you, like magnets we were drawn, and then you kissed me. Now we're sewn together side by side with thread of gold and steel. I wish I could write a song that lasts a lifetime just to hear you play it with me. I'd have to reinvent a language, find the words that tell you exactly how I feel. Now we walk this earth together, let the world go and spin out of control. When I tell you that I love you means forever, and that I'll never let you go. answer together. Let the world go and spin out of control. When I tell you that I love you, mean